everyone, and welcome to our session on the Blue Ridge Education Network. We're so glad you're here. My name is Ashley Hill, and I'm a Customer Success Manager here at Blue Ridge. With us today, we also have Christine Neale, one of our Education and Lifeline consultants, joining us for the session. During today's session, we will review the following. To start, we'll help our attendees understand the ins and outs of an LMS. What is, who uses it, and what the benefits are. Next, we'll provide an overview of the Blue Ridge Education Network. And from there, we'll spend some time reviewing the registration and login process, as well as some tips for navigating the platform. Then we will transition into platform certificates and how to access, view, and download them. And finally, we will review the power user and reporting capabilities. And at the end of our presentation, we'll provide a live walkthrough of the system. So without further ado, let's get started. You may be wondering what an LMS is. I imagine some of you are even saying, LMS what? In your head. And with all the acronyms out there, especially for us in the supply chain industry, we figured it would be helpful to provide you with a definition you've all been waiting for. LMS is short for Learning Management System. Learning, because you use it to deliver education courses or training programs. Management, because it helps organize the content, from creating the content, assigning it to users, reporting on the status. And finally, system, which really is just a fancy word that translates to software. After all, this is an online program. Just like Word helps you write documents and Gmail or Outlook helps you manage emails, LMS is a software program that allows users to create, manage, and deliver what we call e-learning courses. So, who exactly uses an LMS? And the answer is really anyone that's doing e-learning. So just to give you guys an exhaustive list, think about businesses, organizations, government agencies, and educational institutions. So your universities, your colleges. And now you're probably wondering, well, what exactly are they using an LMS for? So as you may see on this slide, an LMS can be used for all kinds of learning activities, but let's get a little more specific and talk about how businesses use an LMS. First, let's talk a little bit about employee training. The need to train new employees or teach existing employees new skills is a constant, regardless of the organization you work for or the industry you may fall into. An LMS can help cut down on employee training costs and actually eliminate business disruptions associated with traditional learning by letting your employees study the material online and at their own pace. We also can't forget the all-important task of onboarding new hires. This process can now be automated and handled easy using an LMS. I mean, of course, in an ideal non-COVID world, at least for some of us, you still get to greet them and give them the tour of your office, but all the rest they can study at their own pace and refer back to it whenever they need. Next, an LMS can be used as a knowledge retention program. A knowledge retention program means that valuable information stays with your company regardless if any employees leave or choose to retire. You certainly don't want that information to just sit in a document management system that no one ever checks. We've all been there, and you really want this content to be available and accessible at all times. Finally, we can't forget the importance of tracking and reporting. So with an LMS, you actually have the ability to track user progress, and you can report on this information. That really helps give leadership a clear picture of who's participating, as well as any concepts that may require additional sense or attention.
Hey guys, it's Christine chiming in, your friendly neighborhood Blue Ridge trainer. So some of you might have gone through our training and some of you may not have. So just to level set what that looks like, After your implementation, one of us trainers will spend a few days with you going over your new Blue Ridge system. We go through navigation, we take a look at the different screens you have available out there, we talk about the different functions and the features of your system. We teach you how to use your system, so you know what it's thinking about and how you can make the most use out of all of the features and functions that are out there. Pre-COVID, we came on site for the training, and over the last several months, training has actually been remote. And for anyone who has done any remote sessions with me, you know I like to incorporate some virtual participation. So now it's time for some of that. So a show of virtual hands. Who remembers everything that we covered during training? I'll give you guys just a couple of moments to think about it, get those hands in the air. All right, so if anyone is raising their hands, please reach out to me after our session because I need to find out how you have such a good memory. So during the training, we do cover a lot. Like I mentioned, we go through navigation, all of the screens, all of the icons, all of the buttons, the functions like forecast updates, how we're calculating your orders. And after training, when questions do come up, you have us to reach out to, you have your support team, and you've got great resources to help answer those burning questions. And if I do say so myself, they're pretty darn good resources out there. But think about this. How cool would it be if, say, when you wake up at 2 a.m. because you have a nightmare about entering an event into the system the next day? You've been putting the task off because you knew you had some extra time, but tomorrow is the day. If you don't put that event into the system tomorrow, you're not going to be prompted to buy extra inventory in time. You know, what screen do I go to? What information do I need? Trust me, we have all been there. I was there a lot when I was managing produce a couple years ago. But just how great would it be if you could get that question answered at 2 a.m. when it comes to mind? Well, now when you wake up with those burning questions, there's a place you can go to watch videos to see step-by-step instructions on how to enter that event. And not just events. Remember all of that stuff we covered in training? You can get a refresher anytime you want it or need it. So Blue Ridge recently launched the Blue Ridge Education Network, which is our online self-paced learning management system that is designed to improve your experience with the Blue Ridge applications. The platform was designed with the concept of learner-centered flexibility, and it can be utilized by any customer regardless of the stage that you may be in, from implementation onwards throughout the life of your contract. Presently, the network has over 140 courses, materials, and certifications organized into various topics. And we're continuously updating this. As we have new releases, we will be updating the education network with that new training content out there. And the majority of the videos that you're going to see and have access to, they're under 10 minutes long. They're really quick bites. And think of it as just hours and hours worth of content that are available to you, but you're not required to sit and watch an hour or 2 hour long video for each refresher. The network also includes 3 levels of supply chain planning certification exams, and these are great to help enhance your skills and knowledge and also to identify any areas of opportunity. Lastly, and I think this is pretty awesome, all of this training content is available to you at no additional cost. If you're a Blue Ridge customer, you have access, and that's pretty cool, right? We all like free stuff.
Thanks, Christine. I completely agree. Now that we've provided an overview of the network, I wanted to take a few minutes just to review the registration and login process with you all. So during implementation, Blue Ridge customers will be added to the Blue Ridge Education Network. And once you've been added, you'll receive an email containing your temporary login credentials from lms@blueridgeglobal.com. And that email will look very similar to the screenshot here in the upper right-hand corner of our slide. That email will also contain a link to the platform. I have included that on our slide here as well. And for your convenience, we highly recommend bookmarking that URL or saving it as a favorite, as it's something you will, often refer back to, especially while you're implementing the product. And to log in, all you have to do is insert your username and temporary password at education.blueridgeglobal.com and press that green sign in button. Once you've logged in for the first time, you will be prompted to change your password, and that's just for security purposes. One thing I did want to go ahead and note is only users that either have access or plan to have access to the supply chain planning application we offer will be added to the Blue Ridge Education Network. And that's just because all content is relevant to using the application. Partial access is available for our pre-training customers, those of you who maybe are scheduled for training but haven't quite gotten to that yet. And then once training has been completed, we go ahead and provide access to all of the content. So by default, all of your users are going to be enrolled in every single course we offer. Now, we'll go through this here in a moment, but we wanted to give you an idea of what exactly we'll be looking at inside the application. So once you've logged in, you'll be taken to the home page, which looks pretty identical to the screenshot here to the right. And the home page has quite a few components, including your search bar, as well as a main menu where you're able to access a list of activities, some frequently asked questions. You can also access your courses and learning plans through the main menu. However, the homepage does provide all of those courses to you as well, and those are organized in different categories. So you're going to have a category for those you have not started yet, those that are currently in progress, and then those that you have completed. And if we look towards the bottom of the homepage, you will also notice we have a level 1, a level 2, and STA learning pass.
Guys, I love a good list. Grocery lists, to-do lists, they really help me stay on track. I would be lost without them. And much like these learning paths will help you guys stay on track as well. We put these learning paths together to help point you in the right direction. Right, so when you first log into the Blue Ridge Education Network, there are a lot of videos out there, and it can be a little overwhelming. Where do I even begin? How do I even start this? So we've laid all of these learning paths out for you. And we've got them in a specific order, right? When we deliver your trainings, we cover content in a specific order. We don't skip around from topic to topic all willy-nilly. We start by laying the foundation, and then each topic builds upon the last. And you can view these videos in order, or you can identify and watch those areas where you do need just a quick refresher. And these learning paths are also really helpful if you have a new buyer join the team. Sure, you can give them about 250 pages worth of a training presentation to read through, and they may retain a portion of the content that they do read over. Or you can incorporate these training videos, these learning paths, and really better set them up for success.
I could not agree more, Christine. We actually have a lot of customers that direct their new buyers to the LMS and have found a ton of value. It really helps automate that process, right? So we kind of take the thinking out of it for you because, most of our customers have been customers for a long time, and we, hope to continue that pattern, but they can't remember, where exactly to start even. So we kind of take that guesswork out of the equation for you. And we've hyperlinked all of that there for you. So really excited about that. Now, just to kind of continue our helpful tips on navigating the platform, I wanted to take a moment just to help everyone understand what the difference between courses and learning plans are. You've probably heard us talk about courses. We've talked a little bit about learning plans. We've mentioned learning paths. So just want to give a quick refresher so that we can avoid any possible confusion. As Christine mentioned, we have over 140 courses in the platform. So want to, again, just make sure we are as clear as possible. So just to give you guys a crash course here, a course is to be made up of one or more training materials. So that could be potentially a video followed by a knowledge check, whereas a learning plan actually consists of several courses. So if we take a look at the screenshots here in this example, you'll notice if we look at supply chain analytics, which is our screenshot in the right corner, you'll notice that it's a learning plan. It's a learning plan because it's indicated by that learning plan text that we have boxed out in red. You'll also notice that we have gone ahead and put a border around that text that reads 2 courses. So learning plans will be indicated or marked by that learning plan text and will contain a number of associated courses. Whereas in our second example, right below that, our supply chain planning level 2 certification exam is a course, and courses are going to be marked by that e-learning text. Now, as you all familiarize yourself with the Blue Ridge Education Network and our applications, we highly recommend utilizing that level 1 learning path Christine and I just talked about, which can be found at the bottom of your home page. Now, the first learning plan in the learning path is system navigation. So when you click on that system navigation hyperlink from the home page, you're going to be brought to this learning plan overview page. And here you will find several important details about the learning plan, including the name, the number of associated courses, time estimates for each individual course, as well as for the entire learning plan. You can also view your progress in the upper right-hand corner. So if we take a look at this screenshot here, we can see that our system navigation learning plan contains 8 courses. If we move our eyes down, we look at the first course that is part of this learning plan. It's called Dashboard Introduction. We can see that that course, takes approximately 8 minutes to complete. Whereas if we move our eyes to the upper right-hand corner of that screenshot, the system navigation learning plan as a whole takes about a little over 3 hours to complete. And as you start working through these courses and watching videos and taking the knowledge checks, you'll see your progress change. You're not going to stay at 0% for very long. You'll see that work its way up to 100%. And as you start to successfully complete these courses and learning plans in the network, you'll receive certificates of completion. So you receive that certificate via email. It will have a URL to easily download that certificate. And there are also a few ways to access your certificates directly inside the platform that we will walk through here in a moment. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick example of what you can expect that certificate to look like, what you can expect that email to look like. And then there is a screenshot down below, and that is just one of the ways you can access your certificates. And that's through the My Activities tab of your main menu. Now, something fun, if you wanted to kind of take this and make a competition, we have seen a lot of success in, almost making this a challenge competition with your team, seeing, who can, complete the most courses or whatnot. Some of our customers have actually started filling their cubicles with these, right? They frame them, they get excited about them. So maybe you guys can also make this a competition with your team. And last, but certainly not least, we wanted to go ahead and review the power user and reporting capabilities with you all. So each organization is assigned about 1 to 2 power users, and power users have the ability to view and analyze user progress for their specific organization within the network. Some of our customers have actually incorporated some of our courses into their employee goals and incentive programs, and their power users use the reporting feature to track their progress over time. Now, there are several different types of reports you can create, but the two main types are going to be quick summary reports or your custom reports. So when we have quick summary reports, think of your one-click reports, right? Something that doesn't take a long time to build. And then your custom reports, of course, give you that extra layer of granularity. So we'll use this example over here on the right, and that is an example of a user personal summary report. That's one of the quick summary reports available, and we'll pick on my user for a moment. I should go ahead and put out the disclaimer that this is a little bit of an old screenshot. I have made more progress than it does show here. But you can see in this example, I have only completed 2 courses out of the entire network. So only about 1% complete, and I still have 134 to begin. You can also see, my top 3 most viewed courses, the last time I logged into the application, the total time I've spent learning. And you can also look at my performance over time. So in this example, you can see that I kind of peaked in performance back in January. So time to get back into the network and continue knocking out those courses. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do we know who the power user is at our organization? So project managers will be delegating power users during implementation. So if you are not sure who your organization's power users are, please contact your project manager if you are in implementation. Otherwise, you can always send an email to support, and that email is going to be br.servicedesk@blueridgeglobal.com. Those power users will also have access to a course specifically on how to create those reports, how to access the reporting tab, all the different types of reports that are available. And if there's anything in particular you're looking for that's not laid out in that course, feel free to contact our support team. We would be happy to assist you or set up a working session, even to walk through the platform. Just know that we are here to support you. So now that we've gone through our presentation, I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to the Blue Ridge Education Network. So just for time purposes, I went ahead and preloaded the URL here, but you would just go to education.blueridgeglobal.com. And once again, you should receive that email from LMS at Blue Ridge Global containing your login credentials. So we are going to act on behalf of our friend Sam for the purposes of today's demo. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in, enter that username and password. And once I've logged in, you'll see that it ends up on our lovely home page. So as Christine mentioned, if you're having that nightmare about events at 2 a.m. and you just have a quick question and you can't wait for support to get back to you, you can easily log into the platform and just search for events. And voila, you have an entire learning plan on Event System. Now, let's say you don't want something in particular and you just want to understand, what exactly you're enrolled in. So our friend Sam, it looks like he'd have a lot of courses to get started with, but we can see here that he's also currently working on data validation, and in fact, he's already completed 2 learning plans. So that's great to see. Now, by the looks of it, and kind of scrolling down on our page here, if we look at our level 1 learning path, the first 2 learning plans in that learning path are system navigation and interface settings, which happen to be learning plans that Sam has completed. So once again, as we mentioned, we go ahead and give you the suggested outline for a potential learning path. We want to make sure you guys have access to this information as needed, and we have hyperlinked these for your convenience. So we'll go ahead and use that system navigation learning plan as an example, just to give you that live look into the platform instead of looking at a screenshot. We're just going to click on system navigation. Once again, you can absolutely click on that from the tiles above as well. So once we clicked on system navigation, we're brought to that learning plan overview page. Now, since Sam has completed this, we're going to see this looks a little bit different than our screenshot did. So he has completed this at 100%, and you can see that each course has been completed, right? So I mentioned earlier that there's a way to download your certificate directly from the platform. There are two ways to do this, and one of those is to click on the name of the learning plan, come to this learning plan overview page, and you'll see this green download your certificate button. So we'll just click on that, and voila, you can see that Sam Smith now has access to his certification. At any point in time you are navigating the platform, you can click on this Blue Ridge logo and be brought to the home page. And from here, I'll show you the second way to go ahead and access that certificate. So we're going to click on this hamburger in the upper left-hand corner, which is our main user menu that I referred to earlier. And from here, you can go in, you can access all of the courses and learning plans like you can from the home page. You can see everything laid out by category. So for example, with system navigation, if I go in here, you can see everything broken out. So we have the supply chain analytics alert, which is a learning plan, and these are the courses. It's just essentially a different view into what makes up these learning plans. Next, we'll go to the My Activities tab. And once again, this is that second way to access your certificate. So if we go to My Activities, and we go to Learning Plans, you can see that Sam has completed the system navigation learning plan at 100%. And there's now this little award icon. If you click on that award icon, it will also download the same certificate for you. So really, you have about 3 ways of accessing those certificates. Just going to head back to the home page. And in this example, where Sam's in progress with our data validation learning plan, if I click on it, you'll see that I've completed the first course, or I should say Sam has completed the first course. And now we're going to move on to the second course. So just to keep going, all you have to do is click on that second course, and you'll see that within the course, you're able to view the training materials. So this course in particular contains a video as well as followed by a knowledge check. Now, the final pointer, as you guys start learning, I did want to let you know there is a very easy way to expand these videos to full screen. When we initially launched the platform, there was some concern that it's hard to see the Blue Ridge supply chain planning system when you're looking at the video in this view. But rest assured, these videos can be expanded to full screen, and to do that, all you need to do is click on this double arrow icon, and that video will play in full screen. And last but not least, we have gone ahead and included the latest blog posts from Blue Ridge. We've hyperlinked these here for your convenience, just to keep everyone in the loop. We have a lot of helpful tips, especially as they relate to COVID and optimizing your supply chain. And we also have a survey available from the homepage. It's only about 3 questions, and for those of you who are already accessing the platform, we would love to hear from you. We're always working on ways to make this more accessible, user-friendly. So we want to hear from you and get that feedback on what's working and maybe what can be improved. So ultimately, we hope that you all found this session very valuable and informative. If you have any questions about the Blue Ridge Education Network, or you're interested in setting up time to review it in greater detail, please email us at br.servicedesk blueridgeglobal.com. Once again, br.servicedesk@blueridgeglobal.com. Thank you all so much. We hope you enjoyed the rest of Blueprint and have a great day.